Hello and welcome to Glenn Small Engine, home of the free repair videos for outdoor power equipment. So what we're going to do is we're just going to go ahead and cut this one here. We're going to have to split it, the engine from the boom. We need to unhook the throttle cable, which comes around here and hooks into the carburetor. Unhook this little throttle cable right here. Now we got our throttle cable all the way. We're going to take these 4 screws out right here. What we're going to do now is go ahead and take the spark plug out of it. What we need to do now is take a little screw out in here to get this drum off. As you can see, I'm turning the whole engine over, so I need to lock the engine down. Show you kind of an old-fashioned way of doing that. Take some old starter rope. I'll take this starter rope and kind of fold it over. Start sticking it up in the spark plug hole. Just enough to, for when that piston comes up, it's going to hit that rope right there, and it locks the engine up. So see, now you can see I can go ahead and take this screw out. See, there's our clutch drum right there. There's a little small shim washer right there. You want to be careful not to lose that. You're just going to take a pair of channel locks, turn counterclockwise, just like that, loosen it up and go ahead and spin it off. Now we're ready to take our 4 screws out and pull our starter off. Okay, here's our starter coming off. We want to unhook our kill wire there, tie our new rope on it. So we're going to go ahead and pull it off. And there's our other piece of our old rope right there. I'm going to pull it out to measure our new rope. We're going to lay our new rope out beside our old rope. Okay, it's going to be right about there. I'm going to cut it just a little bit long. I like to burn the ends of my rope. That way they don't get all frayed out. And we're going to go ahead and tie our new rope into our spool. We're going to tie a knot in it, just like that. Okay, we got our rope tied to our spool good and tight. Put a WD-40 on our spring, so I'm going to put just a little bit of multi-purpose lube on around that boss there. Set it down on there and slowly start to turn it clockwise to start to tighten up our spring. What we want to do is start winding it clockwise. Just like this. I'm holding it with my fingers to keep it from coming out. And feel the spring starting to tighten up. Okay, when I feel that spring start to get quite a bit of tension on it, I can feel that spring start to bind up. Right about there, it's starting to bind up. So I'm going to go ahead and back it off about 2 turns on this one, about a turn and a half. I don't want my spring to bind up as I'm pulling my rope out. This particular starter has a little bushing right there over the rope. Just sits right there. Keeper. Holding this spool with my hand so it won't come up. So let this spool go, it's going to suck all the rope back up in there, and I don't want it to do it yet. If you have trouble holding this spool with your hand, you can tie a little knot in the rope. Okay, now we're ready to little handle on here. I'll just run it up through there like so. We're going to go ahead and put a couple of knots in it here. Alright, so now I'm going to slowly take the tension off of it and let it suck the rope back up in there. It feels good, it doesn't bind up. Go ahead and hook our keel wire up and set our starter right back down on there. Just make sure that you don't pinch the keel wire. It's got a little notches that it goes in. Goes back in. We got all of our screws back in. Our starter still feels good. Washer goes on first. Then our clutch right down over that. Push this rope back down in there and run the piston up for it to lock the engine up. So we're going to have to do it a little different this time, because as you tighten it up, the starter catches the clutch. So what you need to do is pull the rope about halfway out. Push the piston down. Go ahead and push your rope in about 3 inches, 4 inches of rope, just like that. Now slowly start to turn your clutch clockwise until you feel it bind up. Then you can let the rope go. That way you're not pulling against your starter rope. Alright, go ahead and gently torque that down just a little. Remember our little bitty washer that went under our clutch drum? Also, we're going to put just a small dab of lube on that for the clutch bushing. Now our clutch is ready to go on. Tighten that little screw down. The Torx T20, maybe something different on yours. This particular one is the Torx T20. We're ready to pull our rope out down here that has our piston locked up. Go ahead and put this cylinder cover back on. Connects it to the boom. Roll the engine a little bit to line it. Start running these little screws, or Torx T20. We're just going to ready to hook our throttle back up. Then the throttle hooks right into the carburetor there. Go ahead and get it hooked up. Okay, we got our throttle hooked up now. We're ready to put our little air filter and muffler cover on back here on the back. Alright, we got our air filter cover on. Now we're going to go ahead and put our spark plug back in it. Alright, we'll get that done there. For more free repair videos, visit my website at smalleng.com.